Hey up everyone, what's going on and welcome back to York City, where two Premier League games are on the horizon today, Tottenham Hotspur and Liverpool. One of them not having a particularly good season, the other in the chasing pack. Tottenham not having the best of years, which may be a bit surprising because Liverpool were the ones that was kind of slacking last year, but no, Tottenham are the ones to have messed up. They've sacked their manager. They have 26 points after 22 games. We actually play a managerless Tottenham today. As I expected, the top six has spread out a little bit. In fact, Chelsea have dropped out of the top six entirely. Everton nipping them into 6th, Man United on 41, Man City 44, Liverpool 47, and Arsenal just the 3 points behind, pretty much thanks to the victory over them. Godoy and Cantoro top of their particular lists. What's especially surprising about that is the fact that Manchester United and Chelsea are the teams predicted first and third, and they're the ones in 5th and 7th. The ones directly behind us, the teams predicted a little bit lower down. In fact, Arsenal have predicted 7th for the year. They're 2nd. But since we last met, of course, West Brom 2-0 victory there. West Brom got their immediate, slow and painful revenge with a 0-0 penalty victory in the Carabao Cup. Of course, there's no extra time there, so it wasn't at least 120 minutes of intense boredom. We don't care about the Carabao Cup, let's be honest. Norwich 3-0 victory at Carrow Road. Goal scored in the 2nd and 3rd minutes there, and an own goal in the second half. Bizarre start, really. 2-1 victory at Liverpool, where the winner was scored in the 94th minute. You would have had a headphone warning if that one had been an episode. Newcastle 2-0, 2 goals in the first half. I think Carpentier was exactly after the restart in the second half. West Ham 3-0 victory. There's a new face on that list. A new face. You can't see the faces here. There's a new name on that list. I'm pretty certain I've shown you Yurchenko before because he's one of those international new gens in the same vein as Xiaonan and Medina, the two most notable ones we've had in that sense. They've been in international sides, but don't have a club for whatever reason. It happens every now and then. Yurchenko's one, and we've got another one actually in the under-23s who can actually possibly develop even further. But yeah, he's one of a couple I signed a few years ago. I never expected him to set the world alight. He was always going to be probably Premier Division, High Championship Premier Division perhaps. I figured we could probably sell him on for a few million once he developed. Obviously brings him on a free. But registered in the beginning of the year just because he plays in Cantoro's position, inside forward on that right-hand side. We didn't have a backup to him and he was one of the better players in the under-23s. And we had a spot available, so I did register him and I played him against West Ham, where he rewarded me with a goal. So I rewarded him with a face. Scored in the 6th minute. Godoy and Azarto getting the 3 there. Luton 4-1. Yurchenko with 2 more goals in that. Admittedly, the opposition's Luton, but Gonzalez and Parkinson making that 4-1. And Man United, Cantoro scored in that. Barwick scored in that. Billy Clark got equalisers twice. Billy Clark, you're in my England squad. Just remember that, because you might not be if you keep doing that nonsense. But yeah, Barwick scoring in that one, putting us 2-1 ahead. Very much reminiscent in my mind of Matty Longstaff getting the winner at Old Trafford for Newcastle, in the sense he was a homegrown lad. But sadly, it wasn't actually the winner. Otherwise, that would have been slightly more nice. But as I say, it's managerless Tottenham and, it appears to be some kind of Copa America situation. Although that doesn't happen in January. Is it because they're all under 23? Yep. Okay, I'm finally understanding why signing young players and playing young players can backfire. So this really is... I've given Fiore a face, by the way. He's got one now. So yeah, I appear to be fascinatingly in a situation where I have 11 outfield players and the 7 players on the bench are literally the only 7 players still at the club uninjured. And even then, Courage is just returning to fitness, which means we will line up as follows. Castillo will be on the left-hand side, Parkinson and Zata in the middle, Shannon on the right, Christian in goal. Backline is pretty solid still, all things considered. Grimes and Seri, that midfield again, very solid. Ramirez, Vidalson and Yurchenko, that's where the first potential chink in the armour falls down. Yurchenko's in form, and Gonzalez up front, who is also not that shabby, really. Considering the situation we're in is not that bad of starting 11 here. The bench is where it gets interesting in the sense we're having to play Battams on the bench. We've had to stick a goalkeeper on the bench. You know how things have got dire when that happens. And 2 left backs. So, helpful. For once, it's not Xiaonan international duty that's buggered us. Of course, part of Tottenham's woes may be on the fact they sold Rosie to Chelsea. God knows why. What makes that Rosie sale even more baffling is the fact that Chelsea, at that point, had already signed a Lubanovic from West Brom, already had Helio from the previous summer, and obviously still had Nathan Watson. So already had 3 ridiculous strikers on their payroll. They didn't need Rosie. Laidlaw appears to have got through here, and good, right. That's dealt with. Azarta, thank you. Xiaonan, lob this one back in, please. Yurchenko doesn't quite get under that. Sembudak, I think actually heads it on. Not sure if it came off our player or their player, but it's ended up at Laidlaw's feet regardless. And he's whipped that across, Cesar Henrique. He was sort of transfer listed at the beginning of the year again, so the fact he's in the squad now seems a bit weird. Cesar Henrique has made it 1-0 for them. I don't appreciate this. He is ginger. I wasn't going crazy. He is ginger in the match engine. That's incredibly weird because the thing that allocates faces definitely doesn't have him as white and ginger. Well, not the hair colour factors in, I don't think, but Castillo, Yurchenko's at the back. Oh, not quite. Anyway, Laidlaw on the ball once more. Meulemans. I mean, Laidlaw wasn't necessarily that great for me, I don't think. Probably why I don't remember him being in a highlight for us to double check that gingerness. Anyway, Christian whips that out. Yurchenko is there. Runs all the way across the pitch from the right to the left, pretty much. Passes to Grimes, finds Vidarsson, obviously playing in that attacking midfield role today. Shaonan on the far side, can he get in the box? Gonzalez is there, straight at Baxter, of course. We sold to Tottenham. Is immediately even better than when we sold him? That's irritating. Fairly certain his acceleration's gone up to 10 as well. He was never 4-star when he was at us. I see Castillo's taken a knock, but it's too close to half-time to be really bothered with that. Meulemans, I do realise we are in January, by the way. I haven't made any notable signings. I've just signed a bunch of young players. Release fees. I mentioned I triggered a couple of Spanish ones in December. I went to South America and triggered one more. An 18-year-old who had a release fee of 155 grand. So take him, thank you. We have signed I think it's 15 or 16-year-old German player with one of the best names I've ever seen on Football Manager. I'll show you him afterwards. Castillo seems to have largely recovered, I do notice, so we'll let that one continue. I'm really glad we stuck with 4 strikers this year because I've still got 2 left to deal with this nonsense. Carpentier's on the bench. Castillo on the far side. By the way, just in case you're wondering, I just started Carpentier on the bench just because I might need him in a striking role later on. So I figured I'd play the normal inside forward on that left-hand side. Although Carpentier is obviously perfectly natural there. I figured having the person on the bench who can play both makes more sense than starting it. Castillo throws this ball in, doesn't quite get in on Grimes, can give it back to him to give him a second chance. Come on, Castillo. This might be one of his worst games, you know. Grimes. Right, so that's got to Budak again. Somehow. He's got past Shaonan because... I don't know why, because actually. 60 minutes gone. Vidarson's on a 6.4. Gonzalez is on a 6.4. Ramirez on a 6.5. These 3, what are you doing? I only have 1 Carpentier. I can't put them in all 3 positions. Kovalev's coming on because he tries. I just don't have the attacking players right now, which is the problem. Because realistically, I can't replace Vidarsson because he's so good. I'm bringing Carpentier on as well. I just think we need that little bit extra finishing power. Felipe hoofs it forward. This highlight was already going when I did those changes, so this could be problematic. Nope, not penalty just yet. Budak's made it too. Yep, I'm definitely putting more strikers on this pitch. Now, Yurchenko does have striking ability if we want to go 4-3-3, which may be a thing that happens. Budak, though, puts that one away. Simple finish, irritatingly so. It's worth noting we've not lost in the league since we lost that 3rd game ages ago. 4-3-3 initiated, and, well, bugger all is happening, basically. We get 84 minutes, I have to take Vidarsson off because he has been woeful. Speaking of woeful, it's 3-0. Yep, of course he's had 2 goals today. I think he's a defender. No, he's a defensive midfielder, seemingly. Number 8, Cesar Henrique. I think I've said his name 4 different ways today. I mean, that's a set piece. That's nothing to do with the formation. In terms of transfer news, they've also signed Andrew Pittman from Manchester City in a reverse Kyle Walker move. But Gonzalez has gone... Oh, he's through here. He might get a goal. He might get one back. Yep. Baxter's positioning there, even in 2D, seemed a little odd. We've had 10 shots on target. They've had 7. How's this happened? I mean, when you look at it like that, that's a little irritating. They had 3 clear-cut chances and they took all 3 of them. We need to turn these shots on target into actual chances. So it's Liverpool time, and considering the players I've got at my disposal, after the last match, I've made the only 3 changes I can make, because I am not rewarding 3 of those players for their performances last time out. Castillo is replaced by Kovalev from the start, Carpentier starts on the left, and Battams, who would normally get nowhere near the side against a team like Liverpool, will play an attacking midfielder. Of course, I don't have the option of Teko either to play slightly more defensively, which is problematic, because I would have done that against Tottenham if he had been here. I could always use Parkinson or Courage in a defensive midfielder role if I really, really wanted. So maybe I didn't really want it then. Of course, Liverpool hurting from us nicking their 3 points at the 94th minute at Anfield. And our loss against Tottenham has brought them 3 points behind. Well, 1 point behind us, sorry. If they take 3 points here, it's problematic. They will go ahead of us. Kovalev's a wonderful little run there. The final finish, not great. But the actual dribble, But yeah, Liverpool just the 1 point behind. So obviously a draw keeps us ahead of them. Arsenal drew as well. Well, Arsenal drew last week against Wolves, so didn't really capitalise on the fact that we lost. But they're 2 points behind as well. So if we do lose to Liverpool and Arsenal win, we will end up today third. Xiao Nan run all the way through the entire pitch again. What is with the fullbacks today? I do notice Liverpool utilising Ryan Sessegnon as a left back today, so that could be a potential weak spot for them because he's not very good defensively. And it's the main reason why he's not been in an England squad for me, except when absolutely necessary. Not a bad player, just not a defensive player. Like, you can talk about Trent not being the best defensive fullback, but Sessegnon makes Trent look like, I don't know really. Havertz put Diaz clean through here. That looked like it went through Christian. Like it went into his chest and burst out the other side. I blinked and it was off his foot and in the net. I need to see this in 3D because I need to know what's happened here. Havertz, getting on a bit now, but Diaz is clean through. I don't know how he's been played onside there. I'm still not 100% certain how that's gone through Christian. I think it's either megged him. I mean, that's clearly makes him onside. It's the fullback playing him on, but I think it's megged him at about 80 mile an hour. But yeah, Sessegnon defensively, 10 tackling. We're not really seeing enough from our side. I mean, obviously we're massively depleted for these crucial matches. That might be why Liverpool haven't got their first choice left back, I've just realised. Sessegnon might be number 3, but he's not their first choice left back. Sorry. Lovely free kick though, equalises things here. And that's a point back on the table. Arsenal are winning their game, so oh dear God. If it ends as it is today, 2 points separate the top 4 now. Okay. Right, both Carpentier and Gonzalez are on 6.4, so can one of you do something maybe? Maybe one of you do something, please? Please? Perhaps Parkinson get on this ball. What? What was that ball? That is the worst pass I've ever seen on Football Manager. There was no attempt to play that to a person on his own team. And we bought him from Chelsea, so it's not like it's a colour confusion situation here. I mean, Liverpool are playing in sort of that black and cyan kit that they have, the dark grey cyan kit. So it's not like he's confused Liverpool for Chelsea. Trent is looking shattered, by the way. Gomez whips this one in, Blatt's at the back post. Christian might have just pulled off one of the best saves. It's in 2D, so I can't tell for certain. But once again, the ball was hit at him with such force. That was very, very surprising. Gonzalez has actually got a chance to equalise, put us ahead here. Yurchenko on a 6.2. Not a lot I can do about that, I'm afraid. Ramirez on, Barwick on, Vidarson on. Can't do anything about Yurchenko because I don't have anyone to take over his role. I mean, 1-1 at this point, considering the way that we're playing, we will definitely like to see that out. If we can get the winner here, though, Carpentier's been pushed into the actual striking role now. Not scored that many times this year. I feel a little bit stupid now. Because of my desire to have him and another great striker on the pitch at the same time, I've often neglected to use him as the striker. His goal haul this year isn't fantastic as a result. That's given me thought. Kind of evens out the Tottenham situation. And as the final note of this particular episode, I present to you Axel Buchholz-Stellwagen, who somehow has a name in 3 parts, all of which you can sort of connect to places on a car. Axel, Buckle, and Wagen, of course, German. Well, it's not necessarily German for car, but it can be used in that way. Volkswagen, of course. I did put Stellwagen into Google Translate, and it came back out as parking car, even though it's not the translation for car park itself. But yeah, weird. But yeah, 15, and he has 4 16s with 3 15s to back it up as well. He is going to be one of the best players, I think. Not that you'll probably ever see him. I will bring you back for the Man City and second leg of the Hoffenheim situation. I don't really feel like any of the games in between then and there are that important. I would have maybe, considering we're focusing on the Champions League, liked to have brought you the first Hoffenheim game. Might still happen depending on how quickly I can get through these games, essentially. I might still bring you the first one with Norwich, but I'd like to avoid that if I can. I would like to get a little bit more progression in, because obviously the faster we get through, and if we don't win the Champions League this year, the more chances we can have at the Champions League before I decide to just call it, essentially, as a series. But Derby in the FA Cup next round, that's not important. Stoke, Leeds to come, they're not that important. But yeah, we got Derby in the FA Cup 4th round, by the way, so that's fine. Only 3 players away in international duty now, though, so looks like only Brazil remain in that tournament, which is good news for the rest of the team.